Coach, what'd you get?
I got the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and then I got a side of grits, orange juice, old school.
Yeah. I went orange juice as well, and the Belgian waffle. You can't go wrong.
I should have got the waffle.
No.
The waffle's good. The waffle looks good. I should have got them.
What's up, Ab Nation? Welcome into another edition of Coaches Getting Coffee. I'm Matt President, joined today by the football defensive coordinator, DJ Smith.
How we
Coach,
doing?
Welcome. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. How you doing?
Of course. I'm great. And again, welcoming you back to the high country. Round 3 for you here.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the very beginning.
Right.
You're playing football. You're not terribly far away down the road. Tell us the recruiting story of how you first got to Boone.
Oh, man, it was kind of a whirlwind. Like, I was one of those late back-end guys, like a couple of weeks before signing day. I didn't have any offers up until that point. I was playing at Independence High School, and I was an undersized, at the time, I was an undersized guy, so I was in the middle of basketball season. So I was probably 195 pounds. Like, my high school coach was upset. He's like, man, you're losing too much weight. Schools are coming in to see you. So I remember Coach Elliott came down to my high school, and he was watching my tape. And he was just like, man, I got your tape from the school. Like, we love you. And he's like, man, we want you to come up for a visit. So I ended up coming up, meeting Coach Moore, meeting everybody, kind of just fell in love with the place. I'm a kid from Charlotte, never been to the mountains. So it was kind of a surreal deal for me. I actually left up, I think Brad West was the guy who drove me up, who was probably the GA at the time. He drove me up after my basketball game that night. I got in late, so I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what am I doing? Like, in the mountains, I don't know where I'm going. At the time, 321 was like 2 lanes, so I'm like, I'm gonna fall off the mountain. Like, but it was a pretty cool experience, man. Ended up getting up here, liking everybody. Coach Elliott, Coach Jones, and obviously Coach Moore, fell in love with him. So it was a situation where it kind of was just a natural fit. And then they came down to see me play basketball one evening, and then it was just like, it was a pretty cool deal. Did the home back then when home visits was a thing. So it was pretty cool, man. It was a pretty cool experience. And then that kind of parlayed into signing with those guys. And, signing day, had the hat deal, had the black and gold tie, black shirt. I still had that picture. It's pretty cool, man. And then kind of segued into just started training and got the weight room plan from Jeff Dillman at the time, who was the strength coach. And then kind of just got up to the summer. I think I got up here July 5th, 6th, and then kind of just took off from there. I never went back home.
Your memory for that stuff is incredible. So I'm going to continue to test it a little bit here.
Okay.
So as a freshman, you didn't start right away.
No, I did not.
But then by the end of the season, you're a big-time impact player. You go on to win a national championship. What do you remember about that year and the way it finished?
Man, from the start, I remember camp was hot. I mean, that's probably one of the hottest times I've been in Boone, was just hot. 07, the pebbles on the turf, it had to be like a heat index of like 105, but we were still practicing. But it was just kind of a surreal deal. Amani Edwards, I remember getting in against the first team offense, and I mean, he takes off, and I'm just like, this guy's fast. like he's really fast. So just kind of just going against those guys and just how good the talent level was at that time. And I'm thinking, like, I'm coming from Independence High School, never lost a game in high school, like state champ, all that deal, all state player. And I'm just like, okay, I thought I was pretty good. And I get here, like, day one of camp, like, I can't keep up at all. So, like I said, I had to really dig in and grind. And shout out to Cam Spear and Jock Roman and Pierre Banks. Those guys kind of took me under their wing and kind of brought me along. I think it was around maybe the 4th game or so where I ended up getting in that Elon game, and I kind of just took along the reins and kind of just never looked back. But with the Michigan win, like, that was my first time on an airplane. I was 18 years old. I remember my CD player. I tell guys sometimes, like, CD player at the time. I don't know anything about planes, so like the turbulence, obviously when you're coming down and landing, it's the big impact. I'm just like, whatever. My CD player goes from the back of the plane, from the front of the plane. Like, it was pretty cool. I remember being in the locker room after we won. It was just kind of it's a surreal deal, man. Like, I can't really put it in any kind of words. I remember when we got back, you would have thought we won a national championship. Like, it was crazy. Boone was crazy. The goalposts were gone. Like, it was an awesome deal. Then we played Lenore-Ryan that next game, and it was just like, I mean, a sold-out crowd. I think it was like 30, close to 40,000 people in the stands for the Lenore-Ryan game. Because all I had heard was, like, Lenore-Ryan was like, it's probably might not be that many people there. Like, we're going to roll these guys. But it was just a surreal feeling. I mean, hats off to the community of, Watauga County, man. They really showed up for us. And it was a pretty surreal deal, man. And kind of getting up to, that Elon game to start, and then just kind of just a whirlwind of the season. I remember the Citadel, which is funny because like now Coach Higgins is on our staff, and he was a head coach at Citadel, and he was like, man, you remember we put you on the map because the quarterback threw me a pick. I had a pick 6 that game. Almost got bit by the bulldog. I mean, it's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Then getting up to, going through the playoffs and almost losing to JMU, and then Jock Roman makes a big impact fumble. Pierre Banks scoops it up, and then that's how we get to the national championship, and we're playing Joe Flacco at the time. I heard Joe Flacco was a transfer, but I didn't know Joe Flacco was going to be Joe Flacco. So it's kind of cool that first year, man.
So you continue to have an outstanding career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You end up being a guy that's on some draft boards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you get selected by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
What do you remember about draft day?
Stress, man. Stress. I remember being excited for my teammates. I know Daniel Kilgore and Mark LeGree. I think Mark LeGree was the first of us to go in the 5th round to Seattle. Then I think Kilgore went to the fourth draft by the 40. I think it was the 49ers that drafted Kilgore. I think he was in the 6th. He was in the late 5th or early 6th. And then I was just happy for those guys, talking to those guys on the phone. And then my deal came around towards like some linebackers started to go, like Quan Sturdivant and those guys started getting drafted. I was like, okay, I could be up. I'm sitting up in my room, my mom's downstairs, like everybody's quiet, everybody's stressed out. Like I look at my phone, I see a 920. I'm like, who is? I'm like 920. So I pick up the phone. It's Winston Moss. He was at the time he was the linebackers coach at the Packers, and he was like, hey, this is Winston Moss for the Green Bay Packers. We're gonna draft you. And I talked to Mike McCarthy. I talked to Ted Thompson. The late Ted Thompson. That's kind of a cool feeling, man. I walked downstairs and I was like, it's Green Bay. And she's like, my mom just like breaks out crying. It's a whole deal. It was a pretty cool moment, man.
What was it like playing at Lambeau?
Coming from Boone, it was kind of like Boone times 100, where it's just the stadium was still a college atmosphere. It was within the community. Like everybody came to the games. It was always sold out. So it was kind of like, for me, it was an easy transition to where it was just a bigger audience. But it was cool, man. I mean, Lambeau Field. I mean, come on, man. You can't get any better than that, man. I mean, seeing the Super Bowl trophies as you walk into the facility day in and day out, and I mean that year, it was pretty cool. We went 15-1 that year, so I mean that was a pretty cool deal. Kind of being undefeated. I think we lost to the Chiefs that one game, and then kind of going into the playoffs. And then what's crazy about that is we get beat by Eli Manning and the Giants that year. Hakeem Nicks, my high school teammate, is a guy who catches 2 touchdowns to win the game. So it was kind of cool, that whole deal, how it all kind of tied together. Obviously terrible to lose in the playoffs, but it was pretty cool that first year. I think I trained January 1st, and I didn't get done playing ball until maybe mid to late January the following season. So like just the grind of just that whole rookie year was pretty long, but it was fun.
So you have an outstanding high school career, great career here in Boone. Yeah. You make it to the NFL, you play several years there. Yeah. How does coaching enter your radar? How did that process transpire?
It was a kind of a deal where like I kind of ran from it a little bit. Like my dad's was a Pee Wee ball coach for like, he's still coaching now. Like he's in middle school now. He was a Pee Wee ball coach for like 30 plus years. Now he's in the middle school. He's the athletic director at Northridge. He was a kind of a guy, like I was that kid that didn't really do many things other than football. So like on Saturdays I was watching tape, I was cutting grass, I was going to the game. So it was, and then like he had a football league, so I kind of worked his football league. And then like every summer, when I got off from college, when I wasn't training, when I went home for a couple of days, I would work the football practice. So I was always I guess I was being groomed kind of just on that path, man. So I believe when I got done playing, I believe in 14, he gave me my first job. Like I saw, I was transitioning out of ball and I didn't have anything to do. So I was like, am I gonna go with my major, which was business management, minor in accounting? Am I gonna go in that realm? So I ended up being at the middle school where he worked, Northridge, where he still works. I was in middle school, I was with 7th grade social studies. So I'm like, 7th grade, this is crazy. Like, so he ends up giving me my first coaching job, middle school girls basketball, and I'm the strength coach, So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just an assistant on the staff, just something to do, see if that's, just kill my time. So I ended up liking it, and we ended up going undefeated that year. Pretty cool deal, getting banners, all that great stuff. So then the following year, I think this is 2015 now, I'm still training, thinking that, I got a chance to go back to the league. So I'm just working out. Aaron Brand, who's the head coach at Irmo High School, who was my offensive coordinator in high school at Independence, he's the head coach at Vance. So he's like, man, come out, see if it's something you want to do. I'm like, I don't know. I just did the middle school girls basketball. That was stressful. I was like, I don't know if this coaching thing's for me. So I come out there, and I'm probably out there maybe 2 minutes, and then in the next 5, I'm running linebacker drills. So I'm just fully immersed in it. I'm just into it. I'm just always wanted to help, always wanted to serve those kids. So it kind of turned into something where I ended up liking it, and then that following year, I ended up having the opportunity to interview to be the head coach at Independence. So I'm like, it's pretty crazy. Like, being a coach to where like I didn't want to coach, and now I'm interviewing for a head job at my old alma mater. So I ended up not getting. I was a finalist. Ended up not getting the job. I meet this guy where he was a former coach. What was his name? Mike Newsom, who was a head coach at Butler. He was now at A.L. Brown. This was going into 2016. So I'm on a limbo. Like, do I go to A.L. Brown or what do I do? I go back to Vance? Like, what do I do? So he's like, man, you're young, you got a young family, like, you need to go college. Like, you need to go try to get into college, and if it's something that you always wanted to do, you're interested in coaching, like, you need to go coach college and try it out. So I'm like, I got a 1-year-old, 2-year-old son at the time, my then girlfriend, my now wife now, I'm like, hey, like, boom, I'm gonna have to leave for a little bit. Like, I didn't want to leave my son, so it was like, she pushed me to get to a situation like, you need to go try it out. Like, we're good, we're in Charlotte, we're down the road, you can commute back and forth. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I get up here in 16, Nate Woody, I turned it down 3 times. Because I was like, I don't want to be a GA. Analyst, I'll call you back. And then I end up accepting the job. So that summer, I ended up working camps and just kind of shadowing and kind of being around Coach Satterfield and those guys and just kind of seeing how everything works. I'm like, this is something I kind of be into, trying to learn how to evaluate kids. And then we end up getting into that season. I end up getting the job. I believe it's day 1. We're in the middle of like summer workouts. So I get up there first day. We got summer workouts. Great. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get a hotel. I gotta find somewhere to stay. Woody's like, no, you stay at my house. So I'm like, okay. So I stayed at Nate Woody's house for like maybe 2-3 weeks. Me, him, and the dog and his son. We're just hanging out. He's cooking Nate Woody's he's a good dude. He's a terrible cook. Terrible cook, but he's my guy. He's the godfather of this thing for me. So I ended up living there with him for like 2 weeks. We end up getting into each other for the next couple of weeks, and then I get my own apartment, and I'm fairly immersed in the coaching. Like, I'm in the GA role and grabbing coffee, making cut-ups, handing out slides. I mean, whatever you could think of, I'm doing it. So it kind of just turned into something from there, and then that's where I kind of met Akeem Davis-Gaither, who was a redshirt freshman at the time. Yeah, he was a redshirt freshman at the time, and I was like, man, this guy's 6'2", he's 215 pounds. I'm like, we didn't have dudes that looked like that when I went to school here. So I was like, hey man, like, I'm just getting out of the NFL. I'm like, hey man, look, everything that I've learned to this point, I can pour it into you if you want it. He's a coach's kid. His dad coaches at UV. I think he's the receivers coach. So we just dug in, man. We just locked in, and just year after year, he got better and better and better. And he ended up going from being a special teams guy to a special teams captain to a team captain to an all-conference player to Sun Belt Player of the Year in 2019, and he's still in the league now. He just got picked up by the Cardinals. He just got signed there. So, and there was a lot of other players like DeMarco Jackson, Nick Hampton, Noel Cook, who was a guy that went from being a walk-on to an all-conference player. I mean, there's all kind. Jordan Fair, who was a guy that was from Charlotte. You got all kind of guys that that I've been able to be around and be able to pour things that I've learned from my NFL experience, because it was always questions about, like, how did you guys do in the league and what do you think I should. It was always kind of those things of where it turned into a mentorship thing, and it kind of turned and led into coaching, and that's kind of how I lead my ministry now at coaching. Man, it's kind of like a mentor-based deal, and it's kind of I'm going to give you my experiences and the do's and the don'ts, and not that I know everything, but from my experiences, this is what I experienced, and let's try to go another way with it. So it's just kind of and then we kind of just get to the day, Yeah. So it's, went to Missouri for 5 years, did that thing. It was cool. A lot of great players and a lot of cool things. Learned a lot about recruiting, learned a lot about ball, and just seeing all the stadiums, the Alabamas and all those cool things, and bringing that stuff back here, and just obviously seeing that there's a need, and just wanting to serve, man. Just kind of bring things back to this community. And I mean, like I tell people all the time, like, I was here for 4 years as a player. I was here 4 years as a coach. I mean, I'm 36 now. I mean, 8 to 9 years of my life has been on this mountain. So I mean, me cutting my teeth as an early adult was here. So it's kind of cool to be full circle moment. Now my son's back. I remember his first time up here. I think he was 3 years old. He had the picture by the block A. So he's got the little photo. So it's gonna be cool to kind of. He ain't gonna want to do it, but
you have to take it.
Yeah. You're gonna take this picture. So kind of just see the. It's cool for him to come back, and he kind of remembers it a little bit. So it's kind of cool for him to recall those things and coming to the Wake Forest game, even though we lost that game. That was that was his first time up. So it's kind of cool to be full circle moment.
No doubt. Great to have you back. It's been awesome taking down memory lane.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for joining us here on Coaches Getting Coffee.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Love to do it again.
Absolutely. Awesome. We're here at Vicious Biscuit on Blowing Rock Road, right around the corner from campus. They've got great biscuits, breakfast, takeout, anything you want. Come here, Vicious Biscuit. He's DJ Smith. I'm Matt Present. This has been Coaches Getting Coffee.